in your whole investigation of all of this is you really want to look and see and think about, what do I want? If my fur is more dense and smaller, I want smaller hooks so that I can leave the coat open without it showing at all. As you can see, you can't even see mine. I can feel them, they're right here, but I certainly can't see them once the coat's worn open. So I want to talk about pockets for a little bit, because I think for many of us, when we wear a coat, we want a pocket. We love throwing things in our pocket, even though it's been said a well-dressed woman never puts her hands in her pockets. Well, maybe that's a little outdated. But anyway, we love pockets. So let's just, I have a pocket sample here, and I want to look at how we create it and how it's done. So first off, again, this is the sable. Remember, it had the pelt lines. And so what we want to do is make sure we put that pocket right into the pelt line. So if we look at that closely, what we can see is we can see the fur there. We don't actually want the pocket out of fur, because when the pocket is out of fur, it's just too thick. And you don't want to put your hand in a furry ball. And so what they come in is they substitute the fur with a really soft velvet. Very tactily soft, but yet not as bulky and thick as that fur. So then the pieces are cut, and we've got them laid out here for you. You're going to cut 2 pocket pieces. The shape of these pockets does not matter. You just want them to be, you know, as I would like mine a little deeper, because I love long, deep pockets, and I put everything in them. All right, so they're going to be 8 inches, and then just curve them around, and I'm going to cut, you want 2 of them. But if you notice, one is narrower than the other, and that's because there's a little fur strip that goes right there. And if you can see, when you peek into that pocket, that's exactly what you're seeing right there, is that fur strip. You don't want to see the velvet right away. So this is done just like a welt, but there's a little bit of twist onto it, and I want to make sure you understand that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to chalk. That's the easiest way, is to chalk that fabric. And all I'm doing is remembering I'm following my pins that were on the front, and I'm chalking between my pins, because it will not look good if that pocket's not in that pelt line. If you're doing a fur that doesn't have those pelt lines, you don't have to worry about it, but you want to make sure you're there. So here I go. I'm going to sew the first line, and I'm literally going to I'm going to sew the small part to the fur. These 2 pieces go together. I'm going to connect these together, and then I'm going to connect them to the coat. I have to cut the fur before I sew them, and I'm going to sew from the right side. So I sew this one to that little slit. You're only taking 1/8 inch seam allowances. Donna uses a slight zigzag, like a 2 zigzag, and she does it about 3 millimeter stitch length. So you can set all that. You're going to do 1 here, you're going to do 1 there. That's it. You're going to push them to the inside. And then there's just a very slight amount that you're going to connect them with that comes to the top. Now what I did is I wanted to show you this in different colors other than furs, just so you can kind of keep an idea. So here's the blue is the fur. There, you've got a little bit of an error factor because it's a fur, but it makes a beautiful pocket. Then I did the bigger piece in a different color fabric and the smaller piece in a different color fabric. So the smaller piece fur, the bigger piece, and then your fur. And you can see that little bigger piece will stick through the smaller pieces inside and will never show. So I can tell you, just with a couple little bits of practice, you'll be outstanding, and that's the goal. So here what we want to do is get a fur coat. Why not? We can all afford them. They look amazing. I think the shorter coats, again, go for every day. If you decide to make it a little longer, I think it still works every day. The goal is just to have fun with them and really recognize that if she can do it, so can you. That's what she said. No longer a stepchild to the fashion industry. Faux furs are everywhere.